Good Sunday evening, Southeast Texas. Thanks for tuning in to 12 News. I'm Kelsey Johnson. We've got some big developments in our coronavirus coverage, so let's start out with three things you need to know. First, Dr. Anthony Fauci says millions of Americans will contract COVID-19, anywhere between 1 million and 2 million. Second, Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards says the New Orleans area could run out of ventilators by April 4th. That's in just 6 days. And third, Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order which will make anyone entering Texas from Louisiana will now have to self-quarantine for 14 days. That's a big development this afternoon, and we're going to get to those other stories in a moment. But we're going to start with that major breaking news. The executive order issued by Governor Greg Abbott. A lot of questions on what this means, how it will work, and who is going to be affected by it. 12 News reporter Tyler Segerman is live tonight breaking it all down for us. Tyler?
Yeah, Kelsey, like you said, travel is going to get a little more complicated, at least if you're trying to visit Texas from the state of Louisiana. Hours ago, Governor Greg Abbott did issue an executive order requiring a 14-day quarantine if you guys are for people from Louisiana who are visiting the state of Texas. Now, this does not mean travel is banned. It is not. People can continue to come over the border into Louisiana or from Louisiana into the state of Texas, but it does now require that you must isolate yourself for 2 weeks while doing so, or for the amount of time that you are going to be in Texas, whichever is shorter. Now, DPS troopers will be enforcing this new order at each border crossing using a form where drivers will designate their quarantine location, such as a residence or hotel. Now, today's executive order follows Abbott's previous order, which required the same 14-day quarantine, but for inbound flights from places like New York and New Orleans. That also has now extended for flights arriving from Miami, California, and Chicago, just to name a few. Now, to reiterate, this is not a travel ban. People will continue to be allowed to come over the border from Louisiana into Texas, but again, you are now required to be under a self-quarantine for 14 days or the amount of time that you're visiting the state, whichever is shorter. Now, to also add on to the new order, this order will not apply for commercial activity or emergency health response, military service, or critical infrastructure functions. Those people will be allowed to cross without any hesitations or any rules, I guess, if you would say. So those do not apply to the order. So if you guys are working in the plants or things like that, if you guys are still employed, you guys will be able to move across the border fine. This just applies for people who are visiting the state of Texas and are coming from Louisiana. We'll keep you guys updated with more. Stay with 12 News for updates. But for now, in Beaumont, Tyler Segerman, 12 News.